said it needed. Girls can't never say now. Oh, nah. Give it to me like you need it, baby. Want you to hear me screaming, have it breathing. I don't need a reason, baby. I want it till you get by. I can get it to you right, baby. I wanna be in your lane. I can be real good. Please don't get these feelings. Hey, I need some love.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I am so excited for you all on this rising, y'all. Listen here, we made it to Friday. Listen, did we or did we not make it to Friday? The current time is 6:34 a.m. Central Time. Today is Friday, November the 8th. Listen here, we made it, you all. Let's go ahead and get settled in for the hot topic. All right, did you share us out? Listen here, the show will start soon. Bang that like and share us out, Royals. Let's get into it before we get into the hot topics, okay? And shout out to a website called All About the Tea. Shout out to T.S. Madison. Shout out to Muhammad Tosh K, Couture Bay, Yusuf, the whole crew. All right, let's go ahead and get into the topics, okay? Now, listen here, it's been a lot going on. And first and foremost, I want to thank you all so much for coming by here and really supporting us on all of our endeavors. Oh, all right. So, Whoopi Goldberg calls out Sunny Hostin's interview question to the View guests. Can you rephrase that? Hostin asked Stephen A. Smith if he'd run for president. You think you're qualified to run for president? I mean, the bar is pretty low anyway. Okay. Whoopi Goldberg stepped in for a slight course correction after taking issue with the way The View co host Sunny Hostin asked a particular interview question on Thursday live show. Near the end of a multi part interview with sports broadcaster Stephen A. Smith, the legal expert turned the conversation towards Smith's potential political ambitions. Now, you've been asked, I hear, about running for a political office in the future, and some people have said that they could see you running for president. The 56-year-old said, would you do that? You think you're qualified to run for president? I mean, the bar is pretty low anyway. Thought it was unclear who one of Hostin's co hosts could be heard gasping at the inquiry just before Goldberg paused the discussion to request a correction. That I would. Can you rephrase that? Goldberg asked Hostin to reiterate herself. I just think that the bar is really low because Donald Trump really had no political experience and went from 0 to 100. She also clarified that the bar is low and that anyone can run. Smith responded, stressing that on many occasions, he has said, hell no to a potential presidential run. I'm living a pretty good life, he said, but I must confess, I wish I could debate some of these guys. I'd love to be on the debate stage going up against these guys with the presidency on the line. Goldberg then joked, don't say that because we will arrange that. Smith finished his thought in a half joking fashion, saying that if he was told that he had a legitimate shot to win the presidency, he'd definitely consider it down the line. The moment came amid a particularly eventful episode of The View, which also saw Hostin and Alyssa Fair Griffin clash over election issues at the top of the show, while Joy Bear's cell phone once again interrupted the broadcast as a co-host spoke. Now listen here, imagine that you are out here giving your best on the show and your co-host's cell phone decides to ring. Like, girl, why didn't you leave your cell phone? Well, I could kind of get it. Like, why wouldn't you leave it in the, your dressing room because people be swiping and things like that. I mean, we do know on The Apprentice how Kenya Moore allegedly got a hold to Vivica A. Fox's cell phone, right? So let's move on to the next topic, child. Essential sports. Deion Sanders surprised his daughter Shalami with 90 million brands sassy gift to honor her Alabama debut. I'm a divorced father, but I didn't stop fathering. Deion Sanders had firmly stated talking about his fatherhood goals, and so far the 57-year-old has adapted every trick in the book to keep his promise. So when Shalami registered her career high points to fire up the Bulldogs to a convincing 96-50 victory against Oakwood, on her SWAC debut, Coach Prime was proud. Okay. Shalami, who initially had signed play with Jackson State in 2022 and escorted her father to Boulder, entered the transfer portal this year for her third college basketball career program and a return to HBCU athletics. Much against her father's approval, Dion went as far as calling the decision stupid, but Shalami, who had scored the one basket, a three-pointer against Air Force for the Buffs, had real good reasons for it. It just wasn't good energy, good vibes. If I didn't leave when I did, I promise you, I would have quit. If you want to talk stats, Shalami had a playtime of just 11 minutes across 5 games last season with the Buffs. Joining the Alabama A&M Lady Bulldogs, Shalami was ready to fire up storms. An early indication of the same came when she needed 10 minutes on the court to rack up an impressive 14 points, along with one rebound, one assist, and two steals after a buzzer beating three-pointer in the second quarter and a fourth quarter spark where she added 11 more points later. AAMU was always ahead of the Ambassadors. Her shooting performance hitting 41.6% of her field goal attempts and training 40% of her three-pointers. So what does Coach Prime do? One thing is for certain, he certainly had a change of heart. Get into that. Flaunting brand new eyewear from a $90 million worth company that has an exclusive Sanders collection. Blenders eyewear she wrote on her Instagram story. Thank you for sending some since I cannot raid your office anymore. Not only that, Primetime had a special message to deliver as soon as the game wrapped up. Dion and Pilar Sanders celebrate Shalami's debut performance. Dion immediately took to social media, appreciate her performance, and celebrate with her. Shalami Sanders balled out in her debut with Alabama A&M. He further highlighted her on-court performance, with a word as fitting as it can get. Bossy. Okay. Her mother, Pilar Sanders, who almost raged an online war with Dion when updates about Shalami entering the transfer portal hit the news, didn't skip a second to celebrate her impact on the game. This came in the form of a clip Shalami making a basket on her Instagram. We are sure Sanders and the entire family are going to cheer for her throughout the season. We can't wait to see her making waves with her team. Till then, she plays her second game. Let us know who is your favorite athlete from the Sanders family in the comments below. Listen here, I love this family. Listen here, they could be shady, but the Sanders family, honey. Listen here, when you talk about athlete and you talk about talent, you just cannot dismiss that. Okay, so listen here. Let's go ahead. Hello, Miss Barbara. Greetings and welcome. Grand Rising. Good to see you. Absolutely. All right. So let's get into the 7 things Trump says he will do as president.
Well, very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help. Here's our borders. We're going to fix everything about
Okay, are y'all still here with me?
We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it's now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what our country has never seen before. Nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president. I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we deliver the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children.
Okay, so pretty much that was a recording. I get that you all cannot hear the audio. I do apologize about that production. We are definitely working on that. Hi, Norris Tony, Grand Rising. Thank you all for coming by to Coffee Talk, Queen Toast's Coffee Talk. Yes, listen here. This is where we chat. You get the news and you get the tea. Listen here. We are not hearing what he is saying. All right, absolutely. Well, listen here. Pretty much what he was saying was Donald Trump is set to return to the White House, having promised action on issues including immigration, the economy, and the war in Ukraine. He looks likely to enjoy plenty of support for his political agenda in Congress after his the Republican Party regained control of the state. In his victory speech, Trump vowed he would govern by a simple motto: promise made, promises, 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 promises kept. Okay. We are going to keep our promises. But in some cases, he has given little detail of how he might achieve his aims. Asked in 2023 by Fox News whether he would abuse his power to target political opponents, he replied he would not, except for day one. No, no, no. Other than day one, we're closing the border. We are drilling, drilling, drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator. Number one, deport undocumented migrants. While campaigning, Trump promised the biggest mass deportations of undocumented migrants in U.S. history. He also pledged to complete the building of a wall at the border with Mexico. That was started during his first presidency. The number of crossings at the U.S. southern border hit record levels at the end of last year during the Biden Harris administration before falling in 2024. Experts have told the BBC that deportations on the scale promised by Trump would face huge and legal logistical challenges and could slow economic growth. Two, moves on economy, tax, and tariffs. Exit poll data has suggested the economy was a key issue for voters. Trump has promised to end inflation, which rose to high levels under President Joe Biden before falling again. But a president's power to directly influence prices is limited. He has also promised sweeping tax cuts, extending his overhaul from 2017. He has proposed making tips tax free, abolishing tax on Social Security payments, and shaving corporation tax. He has proposed new tariffs of at least 10% on most foreign goods to cut the trade deficit. Imports from China could bear an additional 60% tariff, he has said. Some economists have warned that such moves could push up prices for ordinary people. Number three, cut climate regulations. During his first presidency, Trump rolled back hundreds of environmental protections and made America the first nation to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. This time he has again vowed to cut regulations, particularly as a way to help the American car industry. He has consistently attacked electric vehicles, promising to overturn Biden's targets, encouraging the switch to cleaner cars. He has pledged to increase production of U.S. fossil fuels, vowing to drill, drill, drill on day one in favor of renewable energy sources such as wind power. He wants to open areas such as the Arctic wilderness to oil drilling, which he argues would lower energy costs, though analysts are skeptical. So there you have it on that. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, rapper Plies sues Megan Thee Stallion Glorilla over Soldier Boy sample used in Wannabe. The lawsuit is the latest in a string of cases to claim that a illegally cleared sample featured unclear materials from an earlier song. And this has been reported by Billboard Pro. Okay. Rapper Plies is suing Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Cardi B, and Soulja Boy for copyright infringement over allegations that the 2024 song "Wannabe" features an unclear sample from his 2008 "Me and My Goons." The lawsuit filed Wednesday in Los Angeles federal court says the Megan and Glorilla stole Plies material indirectly, that they use a legally licensed sample of a Soldier Boy song that itself illegally borrowed from Goons. Defendant Soldier Boy authorized Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla to sample his song. Lawyers from Plies write, "Wannabe incorporates substantial elements of the copyrighted material, underlining Me and My Goons without authorization from plaintiffs. Wannabe Released by Megan and Glorilla in early April, debuted at number 11 on the Hot 100. A remix featuring Cardi B was released in late May. The song features a prominent sample of Soulja Boy's 2010 track, Pretty Boy Swag, which spent 16 weeks on the chart that summer. Plies Algernon Washington, best known for his 2007 singles Shawty and Hypnotize. Names all four stars Megan Pete, Gloria Woods, Becca Lee's Alamazar, and DeAndre Wade as defendants in the lawsuit, as well as various companies and labels allegedly involved in the song. Reps for the defendants did not immediately return requests for comment. Lawsuits like the one Plies filed Wednesday claiming that a legal sample featured an unlicensed sample sound strange but aren't uncommon. In the modern music industry, all samples and major releases are strictly cleared, and even borderline interpolations are often licensed to avoid any risk of litigation. But copyrighted material featured within the sample songs can be trickier to identify. Last month, a lawsuit filed by Barry White's estate claimed that Future and Metro Boomin's Like That sampled from a 1980s hip hop song that had ripped off White's music, and in May, a little known New Orleans group sued Beyonce for the same thing over a sample of Big Frida featured in Break My Soul. Though they dropped the case several months later, White's case remains pending. The case against Beyonce's was quickly dropped. Okay, so listen here. I do have that lawsuit. Okay, listen here. I do have that lawsuit. And child, when I tell you, it's it's a lot. It's about 16 pages. It's about 16 pages. And so maybe we can go over it today, you know? So let's see. Yeah, maybe we can go over it today. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our next topic. All right. Did you all get your breakfast? Did you get your coffee? What are you sipping on? Let's get into it. Okay. Listen, I'm so excited. Like I said, today is Friday, November the 8th. The current time is 6:56 a.m. Central Time, 7:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is 4:56 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Ryan Walters prepares Oklahoma parents for new policy changes under new presidential administration. State Superintendent Ryan Walters informed Oklahoma parents and superintendents about plans to prioritize local control in education under potential federal, federal policy changes with a new presidential administration in a memo Thursday. State Superintendent Ryan Walters notified Oklahoma parents and school superintendent about anticipated federal public education policy changes under the new presidential administration in a memo distributed Thursday. Walters outlined the Oklahoma State Department of Education's priorities with a focus on limiting federal control over education in favor of greater local authority. For decades, the U.S. Department of Education has unjustifiably expanded federal power over American education, squeezing local communities and parents out of control of their own schools. Walter stated, thanks to President Trump, we are going to reverse that trend. A release on Thursday stated that the memo highlights eliminating federal bureaucracy would allow funding to be directed to local schools, giving parents and communities a more significant role in educational decisions. The release said Walters pledges to to reduce federal influence in Oklahoma schools and restore control to local authorities. The full memorandum can be read. The federal government has hijacked our education system using taxpayer dollars to impose harmful policies and control what is taught in our schools. This memo addresses five major areas where eliminating the U.S. Department of Education, USDE, and moving to block grants will restore authority to states, allowing communities, not Washington bureaucrats, to decide what is best for their children. One, champion parents' rights. The Biden administration labeled parents as threats and tried to silence their concerns. States, when restored control, will ensure parents' voices are not just heard but respected. Two, and social indoctrination in classrooms. Federal funds have been used to force radical agendas like promoting boys and girls sports and pushing divisive gender and racial ideologies. With block grants, states can reject these mandates and focus on real education over propaganda. Three, protecting patriotism and curriculum. Schools are pressured to teach books that undermine American values and ignore the truth about American history. By removing federal outreach, states can make sure students learn a patriotic curriculum that respects our country and honors our shared heritage. For stop illegal immigrants' impact on schools, open border policies flood schools with unregulated demand, stretching resources meant for American kids. States free from federal overreach could manage these impacts in ways that protect classrooms and prioritize their communities. Five, blocking foreign influence in our schools. Federal policies tie funding to outside agendas, allowing China and other adversaries to infiltrate our education system without federal strings. States could reject foreign interference and ensure schools promote only American values. As we prepare for important and impactful changes to public education policy in the coming months, the Oklahoma State Department of Education will be directing agency resources to ensure the above priorities are championed and that Oklahoma schools are equipped to smoothly adapt while maintaining the highest standards of education for our students. So that was his statement. All right. Now, next up on the docket, or next up in the news. Okay. Now, listen here. Goodbye to Walmart shopping carts. Official announcement confirms that they are changing forever. Walmart has done it again in its eternal quest to remain the number one industry. The giant retailer has decided to upgrade their current shopping carts. Okay. No, do not fret. Walmart is not getting rid of their all of their metal carts with bubble handles. Regular shoppers will not need to bring their own shopping bags, although it will look cute and creative though. Cedric Clark, Walmart's executive vice president of the store operations, highlighted that these carts are essential for caregivers and individuals with disabilities or temporary injuries, making shopping easier and more accessible. Walmart plans to add two Caroline carts to each super center and at least one to every neighborhood market, totaling 8,000 carts nationwide. Technobit's largest supply order yet. But what is it exactly a Caroline's cart? Well, this is a shopping cart with a built-in wide seat, unlike standard carts made for infants and toddlers. Caroline carts is specifically designed for children and adults to sit comfortably with a lower center of gravity. It can support up to 250 pounds, making it ideal for adults with mobility challenges to sit securely while shopping. Technobit explains that Carolina's carts was designed for individuals with special needs. It offers caregivers a practical way to transport a person with special needs throughout a store while shopping, eliminating the difficult task of managing both wheelchair and a regular shopping cart simultaneously. Unlike a traditional shopping cart, which supports a maximum weight of only 40 pounds, and has height restrictions. Caroline's cart is much more user friendly. It's designed to make sitting and standing up easier with two-sided handles instead of the usual single hand bar, providing support for both the shopper and the seated individual. Walmart has been catering to customer needs for years. For instance, it has it now offers grocery store it now offers grocery delivery in many areas with a Walmart Plus subscription price at $12.95 per month or $98 annually. Members get free delivery on orders over $35, along with perks like fuel discounts and quicker delivery options. Home delivery has become a great solution for those unable to drive or too busy with family responsibilities. Walmart introduced its sensory friendly shopping hours in November 2023 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. This time slot was scheduled daily across its stores in the US and Puerto Rico. During these hours, TVs display a static image, a radio is turned off. Oh, the radio is turned off and store lighting is dimmed. These changes are designed to create a calmer environment for shoppers with sensory processing disorders and their families, making the shopping experience at Walmart more comfortable and pleasant. This schedule, already offered by many other retailers worldwide, has been warmly welcomed by customers who benefit from low stimulation setting while shopping. Where can we find these new Walmart cards? Caroline cards will be a present feature in Walmart stores of 11 states, including Colorado, Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, Texas, Kentucky, New Mexico, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arizona, and Oklahoma. This rollout is set to be completed across the USA by early 2025. However, customers across the country are eager to see Caroline's cards in every Walmart location. Technobits data show that 1 in 5 Americans have a disability, and 6 million school aged children live with disabilities. Making accommodations for these individuals is expected to enhance the shopping experience and strengthen customer loyalty. Walmart has spent a good part of 2024 making sure to pay attention to their mobility reduced customers. Apart from Caroline's carts adapted to disabled people, the giant retailer announced on October 2024 their new same-day prescription delivery service. With hundreds of Walgreens and CVS locations closing across the US, Walmart has introduced a new service to support communities left without a nearby drugstore. This will make it easier for people, especially those with disabilities or limited transportation, to access medication closer to home. While Walmart specializes in groceries, earning 60% of its yearly revenue from food sales, the retail giant is now turning its attention to health and wellness services. This sector is highly profitable, and Walmart has quickly stepped into to occupy spaces left empty by the widespread closures of Walgreens and CVS locations. All right. So listen here, that was your daily news. Now let's get on over here and get our daily devotion. Listen here, you know what? I really appreciate you all coming by. All the royals have showed up. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And guess what? Tell someone we're live. Don't be selfish. Don't uh, don't keep all this greatness over here to ourselves. We want somebody to know, to know about it. You know, let's get into this. So, our daily devotion, the Sunday rush, worshiping God with other believers, is a privilege provided by Christ, not another duty to perform. November the 8th, 2024. For many believers, Sunday morning goes something like this: oversleep because the weekend's late night fun wasn't compatible with Sunday's early morning responsibilities. Jump out of bed and shower, make sure everyone's up, let the pets out, and down to scarf down breakfast. herd the family into the car, screech into the church parking lot, run through the front doors of the sanctuary, plop down in a pew, open a hymnal, sing some songs, hear a sermon, leave church to go home, and take a nap. Does it sound familiar? There's obviously something wrong with this scenario. Where's the worship? Sure, this family made it to the service, but praise and study of the word was just something on their list of activities. There was no room for an encounter with God because the time of worship seemed to be an interruption of their Sunday, not the focus of it. Psalms 104 tells us to enter his courtyards with praise. Does this characterize your experience of worship each week? As we head into the weekend, don't let the Sunday rush become a problem. How can you plan ahead and prepare your heart, mind, and family to meet the King? Remember, worship is not something you have to do, it's something you get to do. I love you all. Have a beautiful day on purpose. And listen here, actually, I want to I'm led to keep going. Actually, I'm led to keep going. But before we keep going, I would like to share a musical. Okay, I would like to share a musical. Listen here, I love my musicals. All right, as I get our next I'm working with a different production team, and listen here, this team is so amazing with me. This is our first go round, and I really appreciate them. You guys are so amazing. Listen here, make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. Absolutely. Now listen here. I won't show any of the footage. But listen here, you know we got our friends over at It's On Site, and they always take care of us when it's time for us to get some content out. Well, listen here. They are reporting Benjamin Guo is now being held without bail bond following his unaliving of Carmen Martinez Silva on November the 3rd. Police say he was displeased with her haircut, so he hunted her down, poking her, a second victim in the process. On Sunday, the police were called to a neighborhood in Scenic Drive, Trailer Village. They had received an emergency call over a man who poked two people. Police documents report that the suspect was a Hispanic man who had been clung to the unaliving weapon item. Meanwhile, on the crime scene was the lifeless body of Carmen. She had been unalived by Garcia. Close to her was Luis Martinez Silva, her brother, who obtained numerous poke injuries. He was immediately attended to and reportedly appears to be recuperating. Per Lancaster Online, Carmen's daughter, Yamaris Knight, gave her statement to the police about the incident. She explained that the deceased stayed with her on Saturday following a haircut she gave her. But this action upset Garcia, whose intention was to meet face to face with Carmen. At the same time, Hector Burgos, a friend of the victim, said that she had intended to end things with him. Carmen allegedly told Burgos to break the news to her lover. On top of that, she wanted him to move out. Ultimately, the suspect then visited Luis Knight's uncle on Sunday, police reports read that he searched for Carmen at her trailer 2 times. On the second attempt, the 49-year-old launched at Louise. When Carmen noticed the attack, she intervened, and he that was when she got unalive. The suspect will remain in the Lancaster County Prison until trial. Oh, y'all, that's a lot. That is a lot. I mean, they said that it was over a haircut, but I'm thinking that more that it was because of her haircut. Now, let's get into this. T.I. and Tiny demand payment from ex-friend Sabrina Peterson after court victory. T.I. and Tiny demand payment from ex-friend Sabrina Peterson after court victory. Shout out to Baller Alert. Tia and Tiny are fed up with their former friend Sabrina Peterson refusing to pay up after losing a lawsuit she filed against them. Now they're asking the court to hold her in contempt and fine her 1,000 a day until she coughs up the nearly $96,000 in legal fees she owes them. Peterson originally sued the couple, accusing them of trade libel, international infliction of emotional distress, and interference with potential business opportunities. But the tables turned in October 2023 when an appeals court dismissed her claims, leaving her on the hook for Ti Tino's legal fees. To read the rest, log on to Baller Alert. Now, listen here. Some of the people in the comments says, I do not blame them after losing their show on VH1 and that drama she caused. I be on her arse too. Someone says, even though they have the same money, it's the principle. You mess with people's livelihood when you lie on them expeditiously. Yep, get your money because she would have got hers. Tip and Tiny stay winning lawsuits as they should. People still believe the lies she put out there. It's because of her lies that their show was canceled. And Sabrina talking about it's another part through the lawsuit. Baby, it's time to pay them folks for all that ish talking you did. Someone says, I think that's fair. Sabrina Tierra Marie Peterson tried to ruin them, took their show and podcast and movie opportunities. Yep, she got to pay up. So, what are y'all thoughts on that? All right, now let's get into it. TMZ TV is reporting a big break in Liam Payne's unalignment investigation. Buenos Aires authorities have charged 3 people they believe were involved. Okay. Listen here, 3 people, including the hotel employee. Someone says, why are celebrities never held accountable for their own actions? Celebrities get special treatment even after unalivement. So he is not responsible for his own downfall and demise. Got it. When you sell illegal rugs, deal in illegal rugs, you are partially responsible for any unalignments that occurs. It was his choice to do the rugs. Someone says, who find the rugs for him? Someone says, I wonder if I would have just it would have just been hold on. I wonder if it would have been just an average Joe that unalived under the same circumstances would the Argentinian police done all that as well. Child, well, privilege, privilege, privilege. Okay. And speaking of privilege, child, Christy and Jim Jones seemingly addressed the outlandish rumors that he married another outlandish star. Shout out to our friends over at It's On Site. When the rumors are wild, the Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones are busy minding their own business. Some things don't need a response. We're at the wedding. Child, you know what? It's just so interesting. I don't know why these people are sitting up here playing in our face. If you're gonna marry her, marry her. If not, let her move on. Let another boss step up and really give Chrissy what she deserves. But if she's interested and she's cool with that type of, situation, more power to her. More power to her. Okay. Yes, more power to her. So let's go ahead and move on to our next story. Listen here, we got former Michigan Township supervisor arrested in child as sting, resigns, then wins re-election in landslide. Oof. Former Delta Township Supervisor Ken Fletcher, who resigned in September after being accused of soliciting a minor during a police sting, won a re election on Tuesday with 89% of the vote. He defeated two write in candidates despite facing allegations of engaging in explicit online conversations with an underage officer posing as a 15-year-old on Grindr and allegedly attempting to arrange a meeting. Um, Someone says white men get in office and have a list of offenses against them for things they did do. Children, he wants to sleep with a child. Let us start there. Republicans or Democrat, let's just start there. Someone says, baby, all of them need to go. Someone else says he must have been running against a woman or a person of color. We know how that story goes. Someone says, well, the president elect is a rapist, so it's fitting. Someone says, everybody gets a pass in this country except for a drug dealer and the other heavily incarcerated populations of black men. Go figure. Someone says the privilege of Obama could barely get away with wearing a tan suit. Someone says they re-elected Donnie, no surprise here, or Donnie, no surprise here. We put our people in jail. They put their people in power. I read some of this stuff and then wait for the punchline. But there's never one. Child, listen here. What are y'all thoughts on it? What are y'all thoughts on it? Now listen here, talking about your thoughts. Shout out to ATL Black Star. Black college students nationwide received racist texts threatening cotton picking after Trump inauguration. Greetings. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 12 a.m. November the 13th, sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you enter the plantation. You are in Plantation Group B. Let's get into it. Let's get into these comments. Someone says, this is a form of someone who wants to start trouble. We're not falling for this stupidity. Well, it's time to get out our folding chairs like the Civil War began. Child. Someone says, let me guess, we're, very fine people. Someone else says, we are not our ancestors. Fuck around and find out. Listen here, I am my ancestors. Plus some more. I can't say I hate. We got to correct people when they say that. I'm very intelligent. I'm very smart. I'm very wise. Okay, I am powerful. I don't know about you, sis. Like I said, it be some of them people that was going and running trying to tell on Harriet Tubman. You get what I'm saying? Like, girl, like my sister, my brother. And it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get into. Yes, let's go ahead and get into this next topic. Where's that next topic at? Okay, so our next topic, we have Jimmy Kimmel chokes up while discussing dissatisfaction with Trump's reelection. It was a terrible night for women, terrible night for healthcare. Shout out to our friends at the Neighborhood Talk. Some of our friends said we just gotta hope we can survive the administration long enough for a new election where he can't run again. Someone says someone finally get it. Actually, here I'll play this audio. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play this audio. Give me one moment. One moment, please. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and bring this up, and we will take a listen.
It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate. for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet. And most of all, let's.
Okay. Well, you know what? I want to give a shout out to him for his bravery, because really, where are these other celebrities? And why, not speaking up? It takes courage. It really does. It takes courage. It takes courage to stand up. I mean, I have, you know, Latino friends, Mexican friends, um, turn family. And, I mean, at this point, we just got to prayers up. We got to prayers up, y'all. We got to prayers up. You talking about families being torn apart. You know, I thought that's what America was about, family. It's a lot. Well, listen here. I want you to be kind. You are loved. You are appreciated. You are great just the way that you are. Improvements are amazing. You know, let's get into it. Oh, let's just breathe in and out. So let's get into this. Before we take out, I want everybody to just kind of just listen and repeat after me. I am grateful for this day of Friday. Friday is a magical day. I live each moment mindfully. I am breathing in joy and relaxation. I am going to make the best of Friday. I love life. My body is calm. I am in control. All is well in my world. My body is feeling healthy and energetic. I am full of vit- vitality. I am healing gently. I allow myself to give and receive love. I am capable of unconditional love. I trust that everything in my life is unfolding perfectly. I am willing to be at peace with myself and everyone. I am happy, healthy, and radiant. My sleep is relaxed and refreshing. I love and care for my body and it cares for me. I have abundant energy, vitality, and well being. I am worthy, talented, deserving, and healthy. I am doing the best that I can do. My best is good enough. Mistakes are proof that I'm learning and improving. It is okay for me to be kind to myself. There is a beautiful, loving light inside of me. As I focus on compassion, I naturally relate to others with love and understanding. Respect begins with love. Therefore, I love my entire self. On that note, I love you all. Have a great day. But I got to drop you off in Queen City. All right. So long.